Well, so my name is Patricia. I have been a banker with the KeyBank Woodstock location over here for 8 years now, and I've been in banking for almost 18 years. I remember because of how old my daughter is. But things have changed and fluctuated so much, and this time of year is really important to make sure you double check your wallet. So when Brett gave me the free reign to talk about something, I'm like, well, I'm talking to a lot of my clients actually about their budget. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that, and hopefully I can give you some resources. Yes, I work for KeyBank, but it does not mean that you have to bank with me to talk to me. So please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out if you need anything. Because even if it's just a simple question, like my banker told me this, what's your thoughts? What's your opinions? Again, you don't have to bank with me for me to be able to help you. I will always have that conversation. I do personal banking. My branch manager, Susan, who I'm sure quite a few of you probably know, she has been in the area for, I think, 11 or 12 years at that branch. She does business. So we partner with each other. So you've got her as well. I have my cards today, but if you need to speak with her, don't hesitate. Give me a call or send an email and I can set that meeting up as well. I was not quite sure how many people were going to be here, but I think I got just enough. So if you want to pass these down, this is actually one of a great little budget resource tool. It's got my business card on there as well. Yeah, they are paper clipped together. I tried to keep it all in a little corner. So hopefully there's enough for everybody. But what we'll talk about is really just kind of fine tuning your budget. So when you guys think about it, a lot of these questions are more internal for yourself. It's more like, okay, why do I need a budget? So when you think about what's the important reason to have a budget, you want to make sure you're not just overspending, using credit all the time, because rates are incredibly high. Unfortunately, too many people have had to turn to their credit cards just to make ends meet. And we know this month especially, it's already a tight month. You've got Thanksgiving, so you have to budget for that. You've got Christmas coming up next month, and there's actually a lot of December birthdays. So there's so many things that are going on, and then the new year, and you want to start fresh and you want to start clean. So this is one of those, okay, let's see where we're at. Let's see what we've got going on. And a great way to really start your budget is to look back 6 months. Because we know most like car insurance, if you can get the break and you do the 6 months, that's kind of a good little gauge and start where we are, see what monthly things you have going on, how much you're spending on your groceries, how much your utility bills are. Are there little things that you can do that are cheap to maybe save on those energy bills? I'll tell you myself, I actually have single pane windows in my house because it's kind of old. So I take blankets every winter and I bury those windows. I'm like, if I feel a draft at all, I'm putting another blanket up there. So I have probably anywhere between 10 to 20 different blankets. Just, you never know when you'll need them. I have one in the car. I have one, in pretty much every single room of the house. You have the dog's blankets, so you're like, okay. And it's very easy just to kind of save a little step right there. But then thinking of those permanent resources and those permanent things. So go to the next one. There's kind of 4 simple steps. So when you see the things on here, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Where do we start? Look at what you make. Where does your money come from? Is it just from your paychecks? Is it child support, any alimony, anything like that you get? Retirement income, any investments that you have, or any side hustles that you have? There's quite a few people now that do more than one thing. I'm very envious of people that can do that. Let's see, you got your Cash App resources, you have OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, right? Or even just any donations that you do too. You're like, okay, I can take this out of my budget because I know I'm going to share it with everybody in the neighborhood. And then looking at step 2, you take charge of your spending, right? So that's really holding yourself accountable. We're our own worst critics, so kind of turn it into your favor, right? Step 3 is covering your necessities. So what are your necessities? The things that you have to have. Your mortgage, you need that roof over your head. If you have a car, your car payment. If it's paid off, amazing. Your insurance, your food, your utilities, those kind of pieces. And then where do you want your money to go? So do you want it to just go to your bills, or do you want to be able to save it and go on a trip? I would love to go on a real vacation, but goodness only knows when that's actually going to happen. The beach is my favorite place. So I'm like, I save for that. And every summer we go at least once, if not twice. But that's the only thing that, that extra. But you save for it all year, right? So then if you go to the next one, when you look at step 1, we've kind of covered a bulk of it, but think about, where does your money actually come from? And on the papers that you guys actually have in your hand, this is one of the best resources that we have at KeyBank. It's on our website as well, so if you want like a digital copy, you can save it onto your desktop. It's free. Again, don't have to bank with us to have access to it, which is really nice. You can save it onto your computer, save it on your phone, and then it's digital. So anything that you type in there, it saves it. And then you can go back and it'll actually give you the percentages, so you don't have to do that math yourself. 50% of your income should be going towards those needs. I have to have that roof over my head. I have to have that food in my belly. And then you have that 30%, which is the wants. Well, I want a new pair of shoes. Well, I want to go on this vacation. And then the other 20% is saving for your retirement, saving for those big expenses. So then when you go to step 2, if you would, for the next one, looking at where your money goes. Really, that's as simple as open your checkbook, go to your online banking, look at your last couple months of your statements, look at your activity. If you have Cash App, look at your Cash App as well. Because people have multiple resources, multiple ways of doing things, but looking at what you have and saying, okay, what's coming in, and really, truly, what am I spending it on? Do I need to go to Papaccino's every single day? No.
Yes.
But
Sorry.
No judgment there. Probably why my child can't sit still. So it's those little things, just looking at taking it simple and piece by piece for yourself. A budget should not be intimidating. It can be to start it, but again, that's where if you take some time to yourself, take maybe 10 minutes once a week. Just look at it, get your stuff situated, get you sitting where you are. And then reach out to your resource, whether that be your banker, your financial advisor, your partner, a friend of yours that you have as your safe place, your parents, if they talk to you about money, but we know a lot of parents don't anymore. I feel like some are getting into that again, but it's never a fun conversation when you're talking about money. And it should make it a little bit more fun. So hopefully this will. And then if you go to the next one, please. So when it comes to the third step, covering your necessities, just think to yourself, what is something that is a necessity to you, but maybe in 6 months is not a necessity? So something else that you can do, I found a really cool spreadsheet in Excel I was playing around a couple weeks ago, and it actually had a monthly budget and it had everything listed out. So then you could lay out, okay, in September, I know I have these bills that are coming out. In December, I know I have these bills that are coming out. So you can actually plan ahead, and that really helps as well. So those 6-month things or those annual subscriptions are not a huge shock to the wallet. I always forget when my Amazon Prime renews. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, okay, that is me. So it's just those little things, and you can put it on the wall, you can have it in your calendar, and little things that kind of give you those extra reminders. So making sure that you look at, okay, I need these things, I have these things covered, and I can plan ahead for it, instead of all of a sudden it smacks you in the face, for lack of better words. If you'll go ahead and go to the next one, please. So when we look at the fourth and final step, it's really setting up your goals and looking at those other things that are your important pieces. So that 20% is your savings goals, right? Or those extra things that you need, whether that's that little bit of vacation, that little, oh, I know I'm gonna need new shoes and new clothes for the kiddo as soon as everything starts up again. So looking at those pieces. Thank you. So they can be very overwhelming when you're looking at it, because a lot of people recommend having anywhere from 3 to 6 months in a savings account of your expenses. So that's rent, utilities, food, if something were dramatic to happen, or maybe you lose your job, heaven forbid, or maybe your spouse isn't making as many hours at theirs, because sometimes jobs are very cyclical. So they can be a little more, if you work in a restaurant, for example, you're busier in the summer months maybe than you are in October, November. So looking at those pieces. So start small. What's an obtainable goal that you can have in a savings account? $500, maybe $1,000, and say, okay, realistically, I can have that saved in 3 months. So how are you going to get there? And break it down by week, break it down by month. And that just makes it easier to see. So not only in our jobs and in our daily life, we have those SMART goals, right? what is it, specific, measurable, actionable, I always forget what the R is, and then time bound, right? So you always get your pieces and your ducks in a row. Same thing with your savings. Make sure you have your pieces so they're obtainable and they're easy to get to. You don't want to stress yourself out and say, that's my savings, I can't touch it. If something happens, that's what it's for. We actually have savings accounts that are free, which is really nice. They never used to be like that. And so be like, well, I can't say there's gonna be a fee to it. No, there's not a fee. And if there is, talk to your banker and see how you can fix that and how you can stop it from happening. So again, it's just those little things to look at and say, okay, I see this, I'm getting a service fee on my checking account. Why am I getting a service fee? Go in and talk to them. Don't let it keep happening, but take that moment, because whether it's $5, $12, $25, that adds up. And before you know it, all of a sudden you've got $144 in fees that you could have saved. Or if you're going in cashing your paycheck instead of having an actual bank account, that's anywhere from $5 to $10 just to cash your check, if not more. So what are ways that you can save money? Maybe not always cutting out the coffee trips, but looking at the other things that you can kind of save and kind of take that piece there, right? I'll tell you, when I worked inside the Safeway, I went to Starbucks at least 3 times a week, if not every single day. So changing those daily habits is huge, and just taking that step back and saying, okay, I'm spending too much money on this. Or when you're going and buying groceries, are you clipping those coupons? There's no shame in coupons. I try not to buy anything unless I have one. I shop for a family of 4. So looking at those other pieces of, okay, where do we need to break down and where do we need to make it so it's actually easier and better for everybody? And then if you're like, well, I have this, but I forgot to look before I went to the store, just double check your fridge. If you haven't opened it, take it back. Find your way to save your money, right? So reviewing to all of your subscriptions. There are services out there that can link all of your stuff together. I'm not a huge fan of that personally, but you can always look at and say, okay, I'm gonna pull my statements. If I have most of my stuff on a credit card, I'm gonna review this statement, not just for those subscriptions, but then looking for things that maybe you didn't do. Or if you're like, I thought that was only $20 and I got charged $40. Reviewing what happened because you have that window to fix things. So making sure that you're looking at those pieces. And then the big last thing is just putting it all into place and all into practice, right? So looking at your habit of your tracking your spending. Do you have alerts whenever you use your debit card or your credit card, or when a check goes through your account? So, people still write those. Do you keep an eye on all the bills that are coming out? Do you have alerts when your statement's ready to view for any of your utility bills? Do they send those to you, or do you get them in the mail? I had a client today and it was really cute, and I'm like, I love this idea, I'm totally stealing it from you. Every time she would open an envelope, she wrote the date that she wrote the envelope on. So then she knew that she had looked at it, she knew that it was taken care of. So looking at those pieces and what's a way that we can actually make things better for you. Automate payments when you can. We know automatic payments can save us the headache of forgetting something. But then again, if we have them linked to our checking account and all of a sudden our checking account's a little lower than we wanted, that could be a concern. If you have a credit card that gives you rewards and doesn't have an annual fee, use your credit card, have your automatic payments. You pay that off once a month, it's one bill, it's done. And then you get free money in your bank account as well that you can take and put in your savings. So it's kind of those full circle moments of how can we make life better for you in the money. So kind of like what I was saying, let's see if we can keep it in the wallet instead of giving it to somebody else. And that is definitely the goal with this. So hopefully some of these resources can help you guys. And then plan your extras in advance. So kind of like we were talking about with that spreadsheet that had everything broken down by month, or even with this one that has the 50, 30, 20, you can write everything on there. You can make it a digital copy and type everything in there. Put your dollar amounts and just make sure you use the income that you actually have coming in. So we know when we apply for credit, we look at your gross income, right? Your pre-tax. This one, we want what you actually have going in your bank account, what you have going in your wallet, and that is it. We do not want to have to worry about that gross income. We want your actual take home. And then just looking at and making sure that your normal budget is staying in that 50% so you feel a little more comfortable. So when months like this happen, where you've got Thanksgiving, or you've got birthdays, or you've got anniversaries or things like that, you can plan for those a little bit better and it's not as much of a shock to the wallet. And then get the right checking account is the big thing too. Kind of like we were talking about, review your checking account statements, make sure you're not getting any service fees that you shouldn't be getting. If you are, we need to fix it. And then savings accounts as well. Make sure you're not getting any fees. Make sure that it's growing for you. If it's not growing for you, why not? And then how can we turn that around and make that work for you as well? That's the big things that I've got. And I know I talk kind of fast too. So any questions that you guys have, please do not hesitate, ask away, or you've got my information on there as well. I'm not far away and I pretty much live there. So you'll always find me.
I have a question.
Mhm.
What's the difference between a personal banker and like a financial advisor and a fiduciary?
So financial advisor and fiduciary is normally on the investment side. They're licensed bankers that look for different products and opportunities that can help you really grow in like your retirement and investing your money. I'm a personal banker, so I'm not licensed. I cannot do the investing side of things, but I have people in my team that can do that. And KeyBank is a fiduciary, which means they work for you, not the companies that they do the investing with.
Right.
So it'll be with your best interest in mind, and anytime you do anything investing, financial advisor side, you always want to look for a fiduciary.
Fiduciary.
It's a great question.